Good morning, students. Today we are going to discuss the first chapter of class 7th, that is tissues. And for today, our topic is muscular tissue. So, students, in the previous chapter, we have discussed three main types of animal tissues, that is epithelial, fluid connective tissue, and skeletal tissue. Now, today we have to discuss the fourth one, muscular tissue, and the fifth one, that is nervous tissue. So, muscular tissue, you can see, students, they comprises or they consist of elongated cells, and these elongated cells, these are known as muscle fibers. So in this muscular tissue, the cells, they contains a special type of contractile protein which is known as myofibril, and due to presence of this myofibril, the muscles are able to contract and relax. So this myofibril is the contractile element. Now, students, you can see here muscles are responsible for locomotion of the organism, movement of limbs, and beating of heart, etc. Now, due to muscles, the organisms or the individuals, they are able to locomote, means they are able to change their position, they are able to move, they are able to move their limbs, they are able to move their hands, they are able to move their legs, and beating of heart and other organ also takes place due to this muscular tissue. Now you see here muscles are necessary for movement of body. Already I have told you this one. Now students, see here these muscular tissues, these comprises of three types of muscles. First is striated muscle fiber, which is also known as voluntary muscles. Second is non-striated fibers, which is also known as involuntary muscles. And third one is cardiac muscle fibers. Now one by one we are going to discuss all these. First one you see here, that striated muscles. These striated muscles, they are also known as voluntary muscles, and they forms 80% of total mass of soft tissues in vertebrates. Now see, students, they are forming what? 80% of total mass of tissues which are present in the vertebrates. Now this term vertebrates are the organisms which have backbone. So we comes in the category of vertebrates. Now you can see their contraction and relaxation is under the control of the individual. Now the action of these muscles, they are controlled or they can be controlled by us. That's why they are also known as voluntary muscles. Now say, students, due to presence of light and dark bands, they are also called striated muscles. Now you can see here, this is the diagram. This one is the nucleus. This is that red one, it is a dark band, and this one, it is the light band. So due to presence of this light band and due to presence of this dark band, they have been given name striated. Now students, you can see here some functions of these striated muscles: locomotion in organisms, movement of limbs, that is hand and legs, inhalation and exhalation. Inhalation and exhalation. Inhalation is a process in which we are taking in the air. Exhalation is a process in which we are releasing out the carbon dioxide and water vapor from the body. Blinking of eyes, voluntary actions and movement of body. Whatever actions we are performing by ourselves, they are also controlled by these striated muscles and the movement of the body. Now students, second type is non-striated muscles. Now why the name non-striated is there? Because these muscles, they do not have any striation. You cannot see any light band and dark band in this type of muscle. So they have been given name as non-striated muscles. Now these muscles, the action of these muscles are not under our control. That's why they are known as involuntary muscles. Now students, see, these muscles can remain contracted for a long time without being tired. These occurs in the walls of alimentary canal. That is, it is alimentary canal starts from esophagus and it's finished in the anus. Blood vessels, blood vessel you all know, arteries, veins and blood capillaries. Urinary bladder and other organs. Students, you can see here the diagram. This is the nucleus and these lines, these are fibers which are known as myofibrils, that is contractile protein. Now students, you can see here the functions of non-striated muscles or involuntary muscles. These muscles, they are helping in the food to pass through the esophagus. This esophagus is the food pipe. So during the process of digestion, the food, when we swallow it, it goes through this food pipe and it moves to stomach. So due to these non-striated muscles, it is possible. Second is removal of urine from bladder. So once you all know in the urinary bladder, urine is collected, and this non-striated muscle, it is helping in removal of urine from that bladder. Now focusing of objects and adjustment of light entering the eyes. So iris, that muscles of the eye, these non-striated muscles, they are helping in focusing of objects and they are also helping in adjusting the entrance of light into the eyes, that how much light should enter into the eye. These all are controlled by the non-striated muscles. Third one is the cardiac muscles. You can see here these muscles made of branched fibers. You can see the diagram. These are the branches. You can see the branches. This is the nucleus and this membrane is sarcolemma and inside this sarcoplasm is present. You can see here cardiac muscles are involuntary muscles having striations. So these are involuntary, means they are not under our control and they also have some striations. These occurs in the walls of heart. These cardiac muscles, they continuously works for whole life without getting tired. The main function of these cardiac muscles is to pump blood in and out of the heart. So students, these are the three types of muscular tissue. Again I am repeating it. The first one is striated muscle, second is non-striated muscles, and the third one is cardiac muscles. Now next topic is nervous tissue. It is the fifth type of animal tissue, that is nervous tissue.